How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Here today with another 1/6 scale figure review. Today we're going to be looking at Marvel granddaddy himself, Blade, from his appearance in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie by Hot Toys. Taking a look at the box art here towards the front, we have an image of Blade, Deadpool and Wolverine logo at the top with the special edition sticker. Towards the side, we have that little wraparound art with the claw marks going across all over the box. And when you remove the slip cover, we have this little image on the side of the box. Then towards the back, we have an image of the figure and the Deadpool and Wolverine logo. Then we get our quick little preview of the figure and the accessories to the front window. When you take them out of the box art, we have these two clam trays with the figure and the accessories. And let's go ahead and get our quick first look and impression at the Daywalker himself. And I gotta be honest, I'm very excited to have Blade in the collection. So this might be a biased review, but I'm a big fan of Blade. Alright, so now we have Blade on the rotating table, so we can get our quick first impressions on the suit. Take a closer look at all the little details on the suit. Get a quick first look at the head sculpt here, even though I believe it's a little softer than the actual prototype, but we're gonna dive into that later on in the video. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the accessories the figure comes with. Starting off with the display base, which is done in this rocky formation to represent the void. So you can see a little details on the surface. We have some blood stains. Then we have the little slot for the acrylic pole. I just want to slide that in there. And it has this kind of like this weird crotch grabber there. Call it the Thanos crotch grabber. Then we have the little slit in the rocks. And so you can place these accessories, I'm assuming from Toad. So we have the goggles made on this rubbery material. Metal does look a little flimsy. Then we have this scarf, which is done in this kind of like rubbery PVC plastic. Then you can see all the little blood details and the paint apps all over the scarf. Nicely done. So what I was saying before with the scarf, you can kind of just place it over that one rock. Then we have the goggles and place it like so on the next rock. So this is kind of what it would look like on the base. And then we have the dagger here, so you can see the nice details on the blade. Got some weathering, got some symbols on the edge of the blade, on the hilt. It's hard plastic. And then we have the bloodstained dagger. Looks very much the same as the other, but just the shiny red paint at the edge. And then this one interacts with the base as well into the little slit, so you can have a little base assembled with some of the accessories as well. Then we have the little holster for the dagger. Then we just have the little magnet. It's very tiny, it's not a very strong magnet, so you just pull that to slide the dagger in. And then this is where you can run into some issues with the magnet itself, as it's not closing properly. And then again, another weaker magnet to put on the back of the figure. So as you can see, as I'm trying to place it there, it's just kind of wobbling all over the place. So it's just a little something to keep in mind. Then we have the throwing glaives here. You see very pointy at the edges. So little details, a little weathering. Looks like it's kind of rusty. So it does come apart in the middle. So if you want to close that or move it around, it's the best way to go about it. And then we have the bloody throwing glaive, which is just like the other one. Just has the paint apps to simulate the blood at the edges, but overall it's very identical to the previous one. Then we have his little gun. Of course, nothing moves. The chamber doesn't move. clip doesn't come out, but does have magnets on the side. So you can see the nice little details on the handle. We got some weathering on the spikes, kind of like almost rust and blood on them. It's nicely detailed. And then it has the magnet. Of course, it has the magnetic holster. So not the strongest magnet, but not something that'll fall off easy. Then we have the bazooka. Has a little strap, so you can go ahead and throw that over Blade's shoulder. It's nice little details on it. Then towards the front and the back, we have this little insert there, so you can attach the smoke effect. And the smoke effect has a little peg for you to plug in. Then we have the missile, which is a nice little sharp tip there, done very nicely in plastic as well. So then what you want to do is take these little plastic pieces out of the way. Just do be cautious with them, not to break them. Then we have a little peg there for the missile. And on the smoke effect, there's this little groove there where you can just plug that in like so. So I can just sit at the front of the effect. Then remind me as I move these little bits out the way, but you just take the smoke effect and you're just gonna head and attach it to the bazooka. Little plug right there, and this is what that looks like all assembled. And we have a blade sword, which for some reason is part of the first edition exclusive. As you can see, it's done in this soft rubbery plastic. It's got some nice shine to it. It's painted really nice. Then we have the hilt. You can see all the little details on the hilt. And we have the interchangeable hilt, which is the trap activated one with the blades all extended out. So you can see all the little details on that one. So just really you pull one hilt out as it rolls away, and you can plug the blade into the other hilt. So you can have both as a display option if you choose to. And lastly, we got the extra hands. So we have like this kind of open gesturing expression. Then we have the bazooka holding hands, so you can see they're like cupped to hold it. Then we have the hands for the throwing glaives. And lastly, we have like a hand to hold the gun, and the other one to hold either the daggers or the sword. Alright, so now we have the head sculpt up close and personal. And even though it's a little softer than the prototype, it's still a solid head sculpt. See all the nice little details on the face. The likeness to Wesley Snipes definitely there. See like the little wrinkles on the forehead. See the little gray patches at the goatee and on the hair. The way the hair is sculpted as well is nicely done. And then we have blade tattoos right here in the back of his neck. Realize that I didn't go over his shades in the accessories portion of the video, but here we have the shades. As always, be careful with the arms on them. Just want to slide it over the top of his ears, and this definitely just elevates the sculpt that much more. So you know, he's definitely going with the shades on in my display. And the sculpt does have the rolling eye function, so of course when you move the head, you can get the knobs inside the head to get that rolling eye function going. So you know, we have Blade looking off to the side, and then just have him staring off the other way so you can see those rolling eyes in motion. And so now let's look at the suit. As you can see, these little straps on the vest done like on this hard rubber plastic. The suit, unfortunately, I think that's pleather, so it goes underneath like little chest area there, over the shoulders, all the way down to the wrist. So that outer part is all like pleather, but the inside it's done in this very nice soft fabric. So you know, it should be good for posing. Then on the vest here, you can see some of the weathering and the sculpt work on it. And we have these straps do move a little bit, so that's a nice little touch there. Then you have little bracers on the side, all the details on there. Then we have like the little paints of little parts of red there. Then the belt, thankfully it looks like it's done on sculpted plastic, so no pleather on the belt at least. So I guess, you know, that makes up for it. Then for the pants, I'm gonna say it's pleather, even though it doesn't feel that way. If it is, they're probably using some new material. You have some fabric there in the middle, so I guess if you want to pose them up, no fears of damaging the suit. You have the knee pads down the Velcro. Then we have the strap, so attached to the waist, the belt, excuse me. Then it has a little loop going around the thigh. Then see the pants come down just right over the boot. The way it kind of sits there, it looks like an actual boot cut pants. You know, boots are low. It's more like a shoe. So, you know, should be able to get some good posing. And then we have the treading. Then going up the rest of the suit, we see we have in the knee area, it's kind of like some soft fabric. So I guess, you know, don't damage the suit too much when you're posing it. Then as you go up, we see the rest of the vest. It's done like on a hard plastic with these nice little fabric straps that kind of like move around. And then, like I said, the rest of the pleather on the suit. So if you're building your Deadpool and Wolverine display, this is what Wolverine and Blade will look like next to each other. Realizing that I don't have X-23 or Deadpool in the collection, so it's been nice for this section, but maybe I have to go ahead and pick those up pretty soon. Alright, so going over articulation for the figure, starting off at the head, which is done on that little neck peg, so going up to about there, then looking down, the chin kind of clashes with the neck pretty soon, so you won't get much going down. Something you want to do as well, if you're going to swivel the head, just move the head up so it doesn't scratch the neck paint. Then we got some tilt side to side. Then at the arms, the little fabric undersuit here gives you some more leeway to raise those arms. Going forward till about there before the pleather bunches up and restricts the movement. So going forward till about there, going back there. Then we have the butterfly joint here at the elbow, so you got the swivel, and at the shoulder. Then do have some double bend here at the elbow, so just be careful with the suit bunching there. Then regular wrist peg at the hand. Then for ab crunch, with this hard plastic vest he has on, going forward so about there is not so bad. Then going back to about there, get some rotation at the waist. You get some movement side to side. Then for the legs, of course, you do want to be careful with the holster. So going forward to about there, it's not too bad. It's pretty good. Then coming out to about there, it doesn't kick down with the suit. Swivel at the thigh. Then we do have our double bend at the knee going past 90. And then at the foot, so you have some movement going up and down, side to side. You got some pivoting at the ankle. Alright, so we reached the end of the video for Hot Toys Blade from his appearance in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Overall, just really honest, I'm a huge mark for Blade. When I went to go watch this at the movie theater on night one, I marked out when I saw Wesley Snipes come out. So that was the main reason I went ahead and picked this one up. Although I don't have any of the third-party Blades, but that's just my personal take on this version of blade. Head sculpt is nice, the accessories are nice, and you'll definitely have a nice piece if you're building your Deadpool and Wolverine collection. So don't ice skate uphill. If you have a chance to pick up a blade, I would highly recommend you do. You won't regret it. It's overall it's a very solid figure. If you enjoyed this one, please consider leaving a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more figure reviews, and I hope to catch you all in the next one.